Hello again. Right now I'd like to take the chance to talk to you about chapters in Strive Online. So in order to get to the chapters page, find your way to the navigation bar and select chapters. Now here you can see all the chapters that are in our system, that have ever been in our system. And there are three sections. The first section are the startups. Startups are chapters that aren't operating yet. They're not meeting with their students yet. They're in the process of getting all the infrastructure in place to do so. Next, we have our operating chapters. Those are the chapters that are, in fact, meeting with the students. And last, we have the abandoned chapters. These are chapters that we've worked with. They may have either operated as chapters in the past and now no longer exist, or they may have made it to our list but never actually started operating. It just depends. So, now that we've split up the page into three different sections, I'd like to look at the chapters themselves. The first thing you've probably noticed is that these chapters, some of the chapters are red and some of the chapters are not. They're more normal color. Red chapters signify that these chapters need to be contacted, that they haven't been contacted recently enough. For startups, that means they haven't been contacted within 3 days. For operating chapters, that means they haven't been contacted within a week. And for abandoned chapters, you'll never see those red because abandoned chapters never need to be contacted. Now, here we can see some basic information about each chapter. We can see the chapter name, the university it's associated with, the contact, who can either be a student that is in charge of the chapter, or perhaps it's a school administrator who's running the chapter. Now, if you click on their name, you'll be directed to whatever email program you have to send that person an email. We also have their phone number, a progress indicator, which indicates how close that chapter is to becoming an operating chapter, and we have who the operations user is. Now, let's actually go into a chapter. We'll select San Francisco State and see some more information, some more detail. So here again we have the chapter contact, we have the chapter manager or operations user. Keep in mind that a gray box signifies that only administrators such as yourself can view that information. So we have a list of mentors, a list of terms, a list of sessions, the chapter progress, recent notes, and partners. In this video, I'm only going to discuss the gray boxes. In order to get information about the other boxes, I want you to go watch the non-administrator video, the video for mentors about the chapter page. And that will explain the mentor list, the student list, the terms, and the sessions. So let's start with progress. This chapter, San Francisco State, is currently marked as having no progress. Well, we actually have a chapter leader recruited as well as the university recruited. So let's go ahead and mark that as being completed. All you have to do is put your cursor over the link and click on it, and it will record at exactly what time you clicked. And you can also see that our progress now updated to 25%. There are 8 items, we did 2 of them, and so now we're at 25%. The 9th item, chapter setup complete, is actually very special. If we select this item and set it with a time, which we'll do just to show you, this chapter is actually considered as operating. So if I were to go back to the main page, we would see that this chapter would now show up in the operating section, even though not everything was complete. Very interesting, huh? So now we'll go unset that because we don't actually want to show this chapter is complete. It's not really there. And I misspoke. There are only 8 of these sections. 8 progress milestones, I'm sorry. So that's that. Now let's look at the recent notes. This will show you the 5 most recent notes. There are only 4 for this chapter. This will show you the 5 most recent notes that have been recorded for this chapter. This is where we record every important little piece of information, no matter how little, as long as it's important, about communication with that chapter. So here you can see Ben Hafley's progress with the chapter, and that Chris Sofer also spoke with the chapter. and made progress. The reason why we keep everything here is so that any new operations person who needs to take over for the previous operations person on that chapter can do so without having to worry about transferring too much information between the individuals. It makes the change much more seamless. It also allows everyone else in the national staff to stay in tune with what's happening with each chapter, which is very important, especially with our public relations and fundraising campaigns. So what happens is every time a new note is created, which I'll do right now just to show how it works, though I won't actually create one, we don't want one in the system. This is a new note, and all I have to do is hit create, but I'm not going to do so. Every time a new note is created, the next day that note is sent out in an email along with all the other brand new notes to everyone in the national staff. So everyone is kept up to date. And the same thing happens with these progress milestones. Every time one is checked off the day before, that next day an email is sent out with all the new progress milestones. Now the last section is the partners section. Here's where we enter either the high school or the nonprofit that the chapter is working with. So I'm just going to go ahead and make one up, call it some high school, and it's affiliated with the San Francisco chapter. I'm not going to put an address, although you should put one, like the contact name, the contact title, the contact phone, the contact email. The contact is often a principal or a guidance counselor. It doesn't really matter which one, just whoever is the primary contact at the school that we're working with. Once you enter all the information, you hit create, and you'll be taken to this partner organizations page where you can see all of our partner organizations. Now, if we had actually added that partner to one of our chapters, such as Lock and Chain, which has a partner, you'll see that it shows up right here, and that's an easy way to get to the partner. So that is our look at the operations, the administrator side of chapters. If you'd like to know more about those other boxes, like I said before, please view the video that is meant for the mentors. And if you have any other questions related to the operations side, please don't hesitate to ask us. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sure you'll be watching another one of these soon.